What's up? So if you're just tuning in, we are currently involved with some intensive Tai Chi training with Uncle Richard. And yesterday we kind of reflected on why Tai Chi, why I'm interested in it, and that is to better read, understand, cultivate, guide, energy, among a variety of other benefits. Now today we're gonna touch on kind of my favorite concept that I've realized in this practice with Uncle Richard, and that is the importance of building a strong foundation in repeating a basic task, basic movement over and over and over and over until it finally becomes internalized and automatic, which is a really powerful thing. Only problem, life is short. You said it, I've said it, you probably think about it every day, conscious or subconsciously. We are going to die. Give me the shortcuts. I want the hacks. I want to know what is going to get me my desired results sooner rather than later. Everyone wants that. But the only downside here is that often during this kind of urgency pursuit, a lot of fundamental principles of a task or a skill are often glossed over and not internalized. Tai Chi, for example, the most basic movements, if they're not practiced thoroughly and repetitively, they don't become automatic movements when the pressure is on, when it really matters. I found this concept best described by Joshua Waitzkin. He refers to it as making smaller circles, or numbers to leave numbers. It's a concept that he credits to helping him win the International Tai Chi Championship, as well as being a repeat world chess champion at a very young age. And so here is his commentary on this concept.
Let's say that I'm cultivating a certain martial technique. For a simple example, a classic straight punch. First, I practice the motion over and over in slow motion. We have to be able to do something slowly before we can have any hope of doing it correctly with speed. I release my left hip, wind up, and spring the right hand into motion as my left foot and hip joints spin my waist and upper body into action. Initially, I'll have tension in my shoulder or back, but then I'll soothe it away, slowly repeating the movement until the correct body mechanics are in my skin. Over time, I'm not thinking about the path from foot to fist. I'm just feeling the ground connecting to my fingertips, as if my body is a conduit for the electrical impulse of a punch. Then I start speeding things up, winding up and delivering over and over. My teacher, William Chen, sometimes teaches punching by telling students to pour a cup of tea. It's a beautiful thing. Pouring tea creates the perfect punch because people's minds don't get in the way. Okay, so now weeks and months, maybe years, passed with the cultivation of the right straight punch. By now, the body mechanics of the punch have been condensed in my mind to a feeling. I don't need to hear or see any effect. My body knows when it's operating correctly by an internal sense of harmony.
We have to be able to do something slowly before we have any hope of doing it correctly with speed. I love that. And the key here is to change our habitual actions, which we do this by ingraining these movements from the conscious to the unconscious. And with Tai Chi, it's very difficult at first to remember where the hand turns, where the foot pivots, how the weight shifts, where the eyesight should be. Relax the shoulders, seat the wrists, slight bend at the knees, tuck the thumbs, form a circle, lead with the core, root down with the feet. It goes on. Oh, and don't forget to breathe. But with a disciplined and repetition and a laser-like focus on every fiber of your being in a very intentional way and repeating things over and over, soon the body mechanics become smooth and relaxed and the movements become ingrained down to the cellular level. And this is when we experience this type of free-flowing intuition. It's the movements that they become habitual and they move from the conscious to the unconscious mind. Josh describes this as numbers to leave numbers, and he recorded this excerpt of him explaining how this relates in his chess experience. Here you go.
It's important to understand that by numbers to leave numbers, or form to leave form, I'm describing a process in which technical information is integrated into what feels like natural intelligence. Sometimes there will literally be numbers. Other times there'll be principles, patterns, variations, techniques, ideas. A good literal example of this process, one that does in fact involve numbers, is a beginner's very first chess lesson. All chess players learn that the pieces have numerical equivalents. Bishops and knights are worth 3 pawns, a rook is 5 pawns, a queen is 9. Novices are counting in their heads or on their fingers before they make exchanges. In time, they will stop counting. The pieces will achieve a more flowing and integrated value system. They will move across the board like fields of force. What was once seen mathematically is now felt intuitively.
And it doesn't end there though, because once this practice, this information becomes like the new mode of operation, that's when the fun starts. And though I haven't experienced that with Tai Chi yet, I have gotten a little bit of a taste of it. And I have seen it in other hobbies that I've done repetitively and over, like skiing. Eventually things just become second nature and you just build on top of that, and eventually you're landing double backflips.
Okay, time to get real.
Yeah, so that's one of the coolest things I've learned over the last few days practicing Tai Chi, is unlearning to relearn how to move the body and understand energy in a more beneficial, helpful, exciting, dope way, which is why I'm gonna continue to practice, because so far so good. Thank you, Uncle Richard, for your time, and in your words, it's so fucking cool.